Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum friends. Welcome back to the latest transfer news. We have the morning update with you guys. And guys, please do subscribe to the channel. And please press that like button. If you can, please let your friends and family know about Football Gupshup. It would be really lovely. Now, we've got so many news that we have to start to break away. Erling Haaland has signed the contract with Manchester City. He is now a Manchester City player. And that means pretty good news for Manchester City fans, that you have got an excellent forward, a world-class forward, and a forward who could play for like lots of years and be on top of his game. And it's going to be a new challenge for Erling Haaland. He is going to be playing for Pep Guardiola. He'll be playing for a different kind of style of football, although he was used to playing for Dortmund. But you could say that with Pep Guardiola, it's always like high-tempo football, passing game, and sometimes you have to wait for the ball to come in. Now, how does it suit him? How does it suit his game? Will he adapt? Will he be able to do as he's usually used to do at Dortmund? And you can see that he was a pretty high-profile name, which was almost being chased by lots of clubs. Manchester United were linked with him just before when he moved to Dortmund, and for some reason, it's to do with that Erling Haaland is an excellent player. He was also a target for Real Madrid, but Real Madrid had their focus on Mbappe, but for some reason they were refused by Mbappe, and they almost thought that they should have gone for Haaland, but Manchester City did their job and they spoke to him and they got him. So he's the number one choice for Manchester City. Right now, the thing is that Erling Haaland will be playing up front. City, they played last season without any striker. They had Gabriel Jesus, but Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez, sometimes, it depends with Pep Guardiola's tactics. It has to do with the case that they normally play with different kind of formation. They play with different kind of style, but most probably they do tend to get those kind of tactics in terms of playing against the opposition team. And Pep Guardiola is a genius in terms of producing other good. He had Sergio Aguero, and you do remember that Sergio Aguero and Pep Guardiola had kind of an on and off kind of relationship. So it will be quite interesting that how does Erling Haaland responds to Pep Guardiola, because Erling Haaland almost reminds me of a player profile who is quite suited to Jose Mourinho, but Pep Guardiola likes him, so I'm sure that he wanted him. That is why City have went out and got him. Now the question here lies is that if City do tend to get him, they have bought him for £51 million, and that's not a lot of money. Like a player such as him should have been at least for around 100 million. But you could say that the agency of Erling Haaland, which was of Mino Raiola, who has passed away earlier this year, and the thing is with Mino Raiola, he was so good in terms of negotiating that he had this clause entered into Haaland's contract that if Erling Haaland wanted to seek a move, he would be able to do so with a less risk loss and with a less release clause, and it has really helped Erling Haaland, cause now he has joined Manchester City. I'm sure he'll be on a pretty good contract, and we'll be very much looking forward to how do City do perform with Erling Haaland playing in that side. They have got the likes of De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, they got the likes of Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez. Now all these players have been reported, some of them have been reported that they might be looking for a move. Perhaps City would be thinking about offloading them. I don't think so. I think maybe one or two of them would leave and City would tend to get a replacement or something like that. But so far, you never know, that City might be working behind the scenes and it might be quiet and they would be targeting some players. So City never reveal like how much money they're willing to spend in the season. Last year it was just Jack Grealish. They signed for £100 million and they wanted Harry Kane. And Harry Kane was reported to be a little bit tougher in terms of the valuation, because when you deal with Levy, who's the CEO of Tottenham Hotspur, he tends to be pretty much scrutinizing in terms of getting the money. And I think City felt it that Harry Kane is 28, 29, and they don't think so that he's worth more than 100 million. No way they would be willing to spend 150 million. Now if you look at this deal right now with Erling Haaland, it costed them 51 million Whereas Harry Kane, Tottenham were asking about 120 to 150 million, which would have been a lot, and you would have just gotten like 3 to 4 or 5 maybe top years from Harry Kane. Whereas right now Erling Haaland is what, 22, and you still have like lost so many years. He has a resale value as well. Like imagine if Real Madrid or Barcelona, they do come in for Erling Haaland, then City could say, you know what, it's going to cost you this much. And that's what the thing is, that City are lucky that they've got Erling Haaland. Imagine if they would have gotten Harry Kane last season, then you could say that it wouldn't have been a bad much of a deal. But Erling Haaland represents a better return of value. Now we'll have to see how does he adapt in Premier League, how does he play in Premier League. His father also played for Manchester City, so it's a dream come true for the player himself, for the family, and I'm sure that the fans of Manchester City will be singing his name as soon as the season starts, as soon as the first match starts in the Etihad Stadium, and all of the cameras, all of the eyes are going to be on him. I think he's going to be one of the true superstars of Premier League. I'm sure that Mohamed Salah is one of those names which comes in your mind when you talk about Premier League, as well as Harry Kane. There are many other stars as well, but I think Erling Haaland is going to truly bring that spotlight with him, and Premier League is going to be again center of attention. Mbappe, if he would have moved to Real Madrid, then that would have been totally different in terms of globally, because Mbappe is a global name and Real Madrid are a global club as well. So if 2 and 2 into mix, it would have been a really big thing for Real Madrid. They would have gotten into the stratosphere in terms of renownity. And right now what we have seen is that, Erling Haaland coming to Manchester City, although you could say that, Erling Haaland, if he would have ever joined City, if Pep Guardiola wasn't the manager, like, it's a question of money, it's a question of ambition. I think City want to win that Champions League. I'm sure that Pep Guardiola would have said to Erling Haaland, you know what, we have tried for Champions League so far, we haven't been able to get it. We came into the final, we lost to Chelsea, and you know what, we think you're the missing piece of puzzle. I think if you join us, we will have a go at the Champions League, and I'm sure that we'll win the Champions League with you. What we need is that we need a striker like you, and we think you're the best possible candidate to lead us into that. And I think that would have been enough for Erling Haaland, because I think Erling Haaland is ready to take that step up to play with a coach like Pep Guardiola. So that's what it is. So guys, congratulations to City fans, you've got your man, and I'm sure that you'll be looking for more transfers. Hopefully we'll get to see, I think it's going to be more of outgoings now from City. Bernardo Silva is being reported that Xavi loves him. Barcelona do want Bernardo Silva. Now this story is getting a little bit mature day by day, because first it was reported by one of the journalists from Spain, and then little by little it has started to grow, and it has been reported by many other journalists as well. So perhaps there are some leaks into this. Now the key over here is that City don't want to sell Bernardo Silva on the list. They would want to earn a top dollar money. The fee reported was that City wouldn't ask lesser than 90 million euros, because Bernardo Silva did sign a contract. Now 90 million euros for Barcelona is going to be too much because of the financial crisis. What it tends to show is that City, they are looking to recoup as much as money as they can. Like imagine if you sell Bernardo Silva, then you don't need to sell any other player. But if you sorry guys, but if you are able to, let's say you want to sell Gundogan, or if you want to sell Riyad Mahrez, now those two players would fetch you money, but they would fetch you about like 50 million maybe, or maybe 60 million. Whereas Bernardo Silva, because he's got years in him, he's got plenty of skills in him, he's a pretty good player, he's a creator, he's a winger, he can play in the midfield, he can play as a number 8. Now that does work for any club if they want to go for a player like him. Now that kind of profile, City would be saying that, you know what, if you want this kind of dynamic player who can play in a number of positions and who is at the peak of his career, and there's lots of substance in him, and we think that, his value is a little bit more than what the players we have already. So, and he's not at the wrong side of the 30, because Riyad Mahrez is like 31, whereas Gundogan is also like 30 something. So Bernardo Silva is a bit younger than them. So you could say that, Bernardo Silva could fetch a little bit more money. Now, with the transfer strategy is that I haven't heard any names that City would be willing to replace these names. Like if you sell Gundogan, I haven't heard any name saying that City are looking in this midfielder, and that might be Gundogan's replacement. Then going forward to Riyad Mahrez, they're saying that if they want to sell Riyad Mahrez, I haven't heard any winger's name which they would say that he's Riyad Mahrez, you could say, replacement. Then we've also heard Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling is looking for a move, perhaps to Arsenal, perhaps to Chelsea, perhaps to other clubs. Now that kind of transfer would be quite interesting, because if you sell Raheem Sterling, then who would be the winger to replace him? Is it Jack Grealish? Do you think that Jack Grealish is a replacement of Raheem Sterling, or was Jack Grealish the replacement of David Silva? It's quite astonishing what City are going through right now, because if City would go, let's say, for this kind of revolution where they would sell the likes of Riyad Mahrez, they would sell Gundogan, they would sell the likes of Raheem Sterling, that's like 3 players, and you're not hearing any replacement names in the media, in the newspaper, in the social media. Then that means you're getting rid of your half of the team, because Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez, Gundogan, that's 4 key players. And if you sell those 4 key players, who are you going to get instead of them? And can those new 4 players do the same thing what these 4 players were doing? And can you win the championship? Can you go for the Champions League? It doesn't get to me, because I think what I expect from City to do is, I think if they sell Bernardo Silva, then they would go and invest in like 2 to 3 players. Now they're gonna get Alvarez. They done the deal with River Plate last January, so that means Alvarez comes in. Perhaps he would be the replacement of Bernardo Silva, and Bernardo Silva would be moved on. Gundogan, they might keep him, whereas Riyad Mahrez, if they replace him, then who would be that winger? And with Raheem Sterling, the same thing. So I'll be a little bit cautious about what's reported in media. I don't think so Pep Guardiola would break down his team into those many pieces. Like, he's getting Haaland, and I'm sure that he would be speaking to Gundogan, you know what, why don't you stay for one more season? We got Haaland with us now, perhaps we'll win that Champions League. He would be saying the same thing to Riyad Mahrez as well, and maybe Sterling as well. You know what, guys, we've been trying this to get to this, and we had Aguero, but we couldn't be able to win this one. How about we have Erling Haaland now? Maybe we have a chance. We never had an out-and-out striker. Perhaps this is the right time. That what should we be doing is, we should be sticking together for one more year, have a go at that Champions League, and maybe, who knows, maybe we win that trophy, which has been a quite kind of a dream for them to win it. And I'm sure that City fans would be quite thinking as well, like, we got Haaland now, maybe we've got a chance that we win the Champions League. So let's see what happens. Anyway, it's going to be quite exciting for City. We're going to be moving on to Liverpool right now. Liverpool, just yesterday, it just broke on that they have agreed the deal with Benfica. Everything is agreed between the clubs. It's just a matter of the player traveling to Liverpool, and he will be getting those medical tests, and he'll be signing that contract with Liverpool. So Liverpool will be signing an excellent player in Darwin Nunez, who is going to be, you could say, heir to Cavani's role in the Uruguay's national team, and he will be making this jump into the Premier League. He has played for Benfica. He has a pretty good record in Benfica. He played in Champions League as well. He's pretty much a direct forward. He has that ability in him to improve himself. Now, Manchester United were interested in Darwin Nunez. Now, the news which has been coming in is that he has rejected the moves towards Manchester United and Newcastle United. He wanted to play for Jurgen Klopp. He wanted to play for Liverpool, and it appealed to him because Liverpool almost in the mix of winning trophies. And Darwin Nunez did knew that Erling Haaland was moving to Man City, so the other next top club was Liverpool, and he had his choice being made simple. It would have been Liverpool, nothing else. So Darwin Nunez moving to Liverpool for around 75 to 80 million plus 20 million add-ons. It takes up to 100 million. Now that's a big deal for Liverpool. I think it will break the transfer record for Liverpool ever to purchase such a high-profile player. Is Darwin Nunez valuation, we could say, justified? Is he a 100 million player? We do not know about that. You can say that perhaps maybe the reason due to the fact is that if he is such an important player, then perhaps the valuation would be correct. But right now there's an argument going on, there's a debate going on from the opposition fans, especially the United fans. Remember, guys, when Paul Pogba was signed for Manchester United, his fee was around 89 to 90 million. And Jurgen Klopp in his press conference did said, you know what, when you go out and spend 100 million on a player, that is the day that I'll be done with football. And right now those comments are coming back to bite him, because he did say that, and right now those fans are saying, you know what, you did say that, and now you've made a move for a player who is worth 100 million. You're paying 100 million. So how come you said that at the time when some other team did, and right now you're just signing a player and you're saying that it's going to be okay? I'm sure this question is going to be asked to him when he'll be in some press conference. Let's see what he'll have to say. Maybe he will think about something. The season is not ongoing. Imagine if the season was ongoing and it was a match day, then I'm sure that he would have been asked, and maybe he would have there's something to say. But right now he's on holidays or something. He doesn't have to face the media, and perhaps he will have a longer time to think about this. That, you know, I'll be asked this question, what do I need to answer for? And perhaps he will apologize. Perhaps he will say, you know what, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, or maybe he will say, you know what, with time the average of the valuation changes, or maybe that kind of stuff. So we will find out when he says that. Now, Darwin Nunez signing for Liverpool, what does it mean? I think Roberto Firmino is going to stay for one more season, and after that I think he'll leave. For Mane, he's still speaking to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich need to get that valuation agreed with Liverpool. As soon as it's done, Sadio Mane will leave. Now, this brings to the question of Mohamed Salah. What will Mohamed Salah do? Will Mohamed Salah stay at Liverpool, or will he leave? Mohamed Salah, as for what somebody would say, that, you know, Mohamed Salah has done a pretty good job at Liverpool. He is, you could say, he's a legend at Liverpool. There's no chance that if Salah ever leaves Liverpool, and Salah won't be remembered as important as other players in Liverpool's history. Like, one could say that, you know, Steven Gerrard was a one-man club. He stayed at Liverpool throughout his peak careers, and he never left Liverpool. He won the Champions League with Liverpool, and that gives him that legend status. One day he will come back to manage Liverpool. With Salah, his thing is that I think he loves his life in UK. He likes to be in UK. If somebody asks him if he had a choice to move to Spain now, I think his preference would be to stay in UK, to be in Premier League, and for him to play for Liverpool is a question about now, will Liverpool offer him the money which he is seeking for? So, is this recorded? No. It's going live, JSK. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's going live. Hello, your rival has confirmed Haaland and your club is still interested. You know what, JSK, I'll come to Manchester United, and I'll just go through. I've just spoken about Haaland just little moments ago, and if you want to watch what I have said about Haaland, you can go back and listen to it. It was the first 12 minutes. We've spoken about Haaland to City, and right now we're talking about Darwin Nunez to Liverpool. I've just done that, and we're speaking about Mohamed Salah. Now, with Mohamed Salah, the thing is now, if he wants that contract, and if he thinks that, you know, he needs that amount of money in terms of what he's looking for, because he thinks that he's at that time of his career where it will be his last major big contract, and he thinks that Liverpool should be offering him that because he has achieved that status. He has scored so many goals, he has provided so many good games for Liverpool, and for that reason and reason only, he thinks that, you know what, I think Liverpool owe me that, and Liverpool should give me that, and that would reflect my importance for this club. Now, I think Salah family does love Liverpool. He himself loves Liverpool. I think Liverpool will have to make that kind of sacrifice. They will have to break one of the principles in which they do not offer a lot of money for one player. They don't think so that a player is bigger than a club. But I think, you know, remember Steven Gerrard, he was in a similar situation back then. He had this issue that he wanted to sign this last contract, and it was just a kind of issue like how much money should be offered to him. But Liverpool did broke that principle for him, for Steven Gerrard. Now, will they do the same thing for Salah is to be seen. I think they will do it. They will be kind of compromised. I don't think so they will offer Salah what they're asking for. I think they will say to Salah, you know what, you are important to us, and we know that what you're asking for, it does make sense in terms of reflection, that what you mean to us for the club, and it will certainly attain that legend status. Now, they will come to a compromise. That's for sure. Because if you would ask me, like out of 100%, I think 80%, 85% Salah stays with Liverpool. There is no chance that Salah, like, okay, let's speak about where does he go and play. Will he go join City and play in Manchester City? I don't think so. Liverpool fans will never forget him. Exactly, yes, that's what I think as well. Salah deserves that contract because I think, some players, when they attain that kind of legend status while playing for your club, you should be giving it to them. Because they did this to Steven Gerrard, and Steven Gerrard was offered that much money, and no Liverpool player was ever offered that kind of amount of money. I think Salah does deserve that. I think he should get that money. But I think I do understand from Liverpool perspective as well, because being a United fan, we are so confused about our board. Like, they offer so much money to so many players that who don't even deserve to be on the reserves wages. They are so bad in playing, but they offer so many salaries and wages to them that it doesn't make sense. Why are you offering so much money for a player who's not even gonna play 10 games for the whole season? And for that reason, I do understand that Liverpool's perspective, it does kind of change the aura inside the dressing room. And I think if they sell Sadio Mane and if Roberto Firmino leaves, then that leaves only Mohamed Salah, who will be the top player, and exactly like Maguire and Rashford. Like, for some reason, I don't understand how come they're being paid so much money for no reason at all. So in that perspective, I think Salah will be the only main man at Liverpool, and if they give that much money, it would make sense. And I think that Salah will sign that contract. Now, then you have Salah, you have Darwin Nunez, you will have Diego Jota, and then you will have Luis Diaz. There will be 4 key players. Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino will stay for one more season, unless any club comes and offer like crazy money, maybe Newcastle United. You never know. These kind of things do happen. Like, I wouldn't be resting my laurels, because I do know that Roberto Firmino is being injured a lot. But if he is able to give 2 or 3 more seasons, I would be surprised if Newcastle United don't go for him. But anyway, that is the case. Now, heading towards Liverpool other transfer targets, I think Liverpool are pretty much stacked up in defense. They might go for a left back, although they have Smikas and they got Robertson, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go for a left back. Talking about midfield, now this is a concerning area because you got James Milner, who will be offered a 1-year extension. Then you got Henderson, you got Fabinho, you got Thiago. Perhaps Liverpool will be willing to sell Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Now, if they sell him, would they be going for any kind of other player? They have signed Carvalho from Fulham. So, let's see what Liverpool do. I think there is going to be another key target. It might be a midfielder. It might be a left back. But I think you should keep an eye to the midfielder thing. So far, nobody has been reported. And I think maybe Klopp is going to see if he finds something. And I'm sure that he has got Thiago and Fabinho. Perhaps a number 8. Perhaps they'll be looking for a number 8. They got Naby Keita as well. But let's see what does he do, because Origi has left. Then Firmino, if he goes, then perhaps they will need a backup striker. And then you got Minamino as well. So let's see what Liverpool do. I still think Liverpool will get a midfielder, and they will get a left back as well for sure. So I wouldn't say that Liverpool transfer season is over. I think there's still more to be seen and to be done. Now, moving forward, we're going to be speaking about Arsenal. Now, Arsenal, as I've reported, that they are getting closer to Tielemans. They are also trying to see that if they can get a winger, either Gerard Bowen or Raphinha, and they're also looking for a striker. Now, with Arsenal, the thing is, Mikel Arteta, he's away on a holiday, and I'm sure that Edu and his team will be working on those transfer targets. Now, perhaps this might be a bad news for Arsenal. The story came in that, apparently Arsenal are looking for some of the outgoings. Now, if that happens, then the fan base is going to go crazy, because, the way to do transfer business is always like this, that you need to get in some players so that the fans are saying that, our club has done some activity, and then you do some sales of the players, and then you go back into the market again, and then you get more targets. I think Arsenal are just being too cautious because they don't want to spend a good amount of money on a player and if they go for other targets, then those clubs will demand good money as well. I think Arsenal are working in a tight budget. I think they're working in a course in which they want to sell one, buy one, sell one, buy one. They're working in that kind of manner just to show around that, you know what, we're working with a tight, constrained budget. We haven't got loose strings, we haven't got loose purse, and that means it's going to be a long window. When you work in that paradigm, it doesn't happen quickly. The transfer moves tend to go slowly because Telemans, he just reported that, you know what, he was asked this question. He said, you know what, I'm not going to be staying at Leicester City, that's for sure. I made up my mind. I'm looking for a move. And I think this might get distressed because he would be thinking that why haven't Arsenal moved on me? You know, they should have made a bid by now, and this case should have been closed by now. Now, Arsenal, they like Telemans. This thing was reported 2 years back, and a year back it got up as well. Now, if you're interested in a player which goes 2 years back, you should have been bidded by now. If you're not bidding it right now, that means you are having some financial problems. You're working in a constrained budget, you're working in a tight budget, similar as to Manchester United. Because what Manchester United fans are saying, that if Frankie de Jong is your primary target, you should have bid it by now, because it doesn't make sense that you're after this player, similar to Jadon Sancho, that you were after this player and Dortmund was saying one price and you were saying something else, and the whole season went and you wasted like 2 years, and then you got the player and you agreed to the fee which they were asking in the first place. So why do you want to waste 2 more years? So I do understand the frustration from the fan side, and it does make sense that if you want a player and if there is a valuation to it, you go and talk to it and you just try to get that player and get it done. And I don't know what Arsenal are going to do about this, but let's see what they will be willing to do. I'm sure that Arsenal fans are looking eager to see who their striker is going to be. I think they've got a very good promising player in Nketiah. I really love that player. I think his choice to go and play for Ghana is a sensible one, and I'm sure that when he turns up for his national side in World Cup, he's gonna really raise some eyebrows. I'm really impressed by him. He's really a very good striker that what Arsenal have, but Arsenal are looking for another striker. Let's see who that name will be. Will it be Dominic Calvert-Lewin or will it be Jonathan David? I'm sure that you guys will have an opinion to that, but we will see to it what is going to be. Now I'm going to talk about Manchester United. This thing has come up in the social media that it was reported that Raphinha is also as of an interest to Manchester United, but if United had a choice, it's going to be Antony or Raphinha. I'm going to do that episode of Manchester United on my other channel, Manchester United Verse. I'll be speaking about that on that channel. Now I've got something to say for United fans. First thing is first, United haven't qualified for Champions League, so you can think that there's no money from Champions League. That is true. Now, how much money has been given to Erik ten Hag? I think the fee which has been reported, 100 million, I think 100 and 120 million is correct, but it might be after sales, because if you can't agree a fee for Frankie de Jong, and if you couldn't get a fee agreed for Darwin Nunez, because right now the newspapers are saying that Erik ten Hag had made sure to the board that Darwin Nunez was the number one target and they should have got him, and because they haven't gotten him, it has put a dent in his, you could say, campaign, because he wanted to start this campaign by having Darwin Nunez. Now how much truth is in that thing or not, we do not know, but I'm sure that whenever you don't get a player, you always have a backup. And it was reported that United were interested in Richarlison, but Tottenham Hotspur are coming hot on Richarlison right now. I don't think so Manchester United or Erik ten Hag would go for Richarlison. Erik ten Hag right now, he wants Frankie de Jong, and it's just a matter of fee. If that gets agreed, then Frankie de Jong will join United, and after that I think it's going to be Antony who will join United. As far as Raphinha is concerned, I think if I was a United manager, I wouldn't go for a striker. I would have gone for Antony and Raphinha, not or Raphinha, because the fact of the matter is, Martial, I think his season is done. Rashford, you know what, you can give him another season, but I think in the end you will end up selling him. So why don't you sell him right now? I think keeping Rashford is a big mistake. You should be selling Rashford right now when his, you could say, valuation is still some worth. Otherwise, it won't be worth anything in a year later. And I think you should sell Rashford, you should sell Martial, and instead of those two, you should bring in Antony and Raphinha, and you can switch them on either of the wings. And those two boys are really talented and they can really perform. So that is what I think that United should do. They should go for Antony, Raphinha, and Frankie de Jong. You get these three players, then you start making some sales. You sell Martial, you sell Rashford, you sell the likes of Jones, Bailly, Henderson. You sell these players, and then you go and get your centre back. Now Timber, it was really like about 2 weeks ago, it was like the first purchase is going to be Timber, the first transfer is going to be Timber. So far we haven't heard anything on that. It has died down. Maybe United will go in for Pau Torres, who knows, whatever it is. But I think United should go for Antony and Raphinha as well as Frankie de Jong. But that's my opinion. Don't know what Erik ten Hag or what the club is thinking. They have to see, because there are some financial constraints and they have to work according to that paradigm. So we'll wait and see how does that one goes. Now, in other talks about Newcastle United, it has been reported that Newcastle United are working seriously behind the scenes to get as many as, now this is the key over here, as many as good players, not any player but good players. What that means is that they are not going to go after target because, you know what, they think they're important, that is what is needed. I think Newcastle United are trying to think in a way that, you know what, if we get this player and if he doesn't turns out to be good, what does it mean in terms of loss? So if we sell that player, how much loss are we going to bear? So they have started to shift their thinking in a way that a club does if they want to progress. So that's a pretty good thing, and that is the reason why they haven't changed their stance on Botman. Their target was Botman. They haven't changed their target. They're still aiming for Botman. Otherwise, Tarkowski, who just left Burnley on free, they could have signed him on free. That's not what they're trying to do. They are sticking onto their targets. They're going to make sure that they get those targets, and then they will improve the team. So that is the case right now. Same thing has happened with the Ikiteka. That guy who plays for Reims, he was injured. Newcastle United have said that, we are still interested. We still want the player. We still think that he's the player that we want. So that's a pretty good thing in terms of what Newcastle United want to do as a club. Now, going forward, if Newcastle United do get these targets such as Ekiteka, the Botman deal, then they are looking for Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen, the winger. They are also looking at Paqueta from Lyon, the ex-teammate of Bruno Guimaraes. Now, if they get these kind of four players, I think Newcastle United are going to go another level up, and that's what they're trying to do. They are so focused, they've done their work, they've done their homework, and they know what they need. And if they do tend to stick to their targets and they get them, I think Newcastle United are really going to be a force this coming new season, because these four players are certainly going to increase the quality with the quality they already have, such as Saint Maximin. And right now, this deal which they've done for Target has been really getting a lot of claim, like by saying that, this was a very good transfer business done by Newcastle United. Normally Newcastle United don't do this kind of business, but it's been quite applauded that this Target deal was quite good. They could have gotten for another expensive fullback, a left back, but they went for Target, and it has really shown that Target has proved that he's a good left back, and people are applauding this move. So Newcastle United have changed their strategy, and they're working in a paradigm where they want to think, what makes us go a level up? What makes us go a level up? And we stick to those targets. If we don't get those targets, then we're not going to go for B or C or D. We're just going to stay for them. And if we get them, we're going to try to get them at most. Now that kind of, you could say, mentality does change you as a club. Because then, not now, maybe in 2 years, maybe in 3 years, I'm sure they'll be trying to get into the Champions League, and it'll be a concern for clubs like Arsenal, Manchester United, even Tottenham, because Newcastle United are quite serious in what they want to do. So that is what it is with Newcastle United. Now, going forward, we're going to be speaking about Real Madrid. Now, Real Madrid, they've signed Tchouaméni, and it has been reported that Real Madrid are also interested in other players. Real Madrid have got their targets in terms of they wanted to have Mbappe, because Mbappe brings commercial side as well. He's a big name, a global name, and I'm sure that they would be hurting right now because they haven't got him, and they'll be thinking, what should we do now? Should we build the other parts of the team? I think right now the focus would be to work on the other areas. They are thinking about the left back. Marcelo has left, so perhaps they'll be looking into that area. They are also looking at Reece James. Now Reece James is getting bigger and louder every single day at Real Madrid. If they turn their eye on a player and if they want to get that player, they do definitely go out and get the player. So if I was Chelsea, I would be pretty concerned. And with Chelsea, the thing is that they themselves right now in the mix of so many things. They want to see what players they want to keep, what players they want to sell, and what players they want to acquire. So far, Chelsea is focused right now on outgoings. They are looking at so many outgoings right now, like the likes of Lukaku and N'Golo Kante. Then you got Alonso, you got Azpilicueta. I'll come back to those two names a little bit later. But as far as Chelsea is concerned, they're looking for outgoings rather than incomings. So once Chelsea deal with those outgoings, then they will focus on incomings. Now, when that is concerned, if Real Madrid want to get Reece James, I think Chelsea should be mindful and thoughtful, because if they don't give him the contract what Reece James want, then who knows, Reece James might join Real Madrid, and it's going to be a pretty big story in the transfer market that Reece James has joined Real Madrid. So I would keep my eye on that one. Whereas concerning with Real Madrid, other areas of concern, I think their midfield is done. Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, that's the best midfield you can ever have. And I'm sure after Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, they're going to go for other names as well. But right now, I think the midfield is stacked up. Whereas for the forward line, they've got the likes of Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr., and they've got Karim Benzema. I think they will go for in a winger or a striker. We'll see who that will be. I think Real Madrid are not letting out the names in the media. They're not letting out any leak. They're not going out strongly as they normally do, because the way Real Madrid operate is they go for a name and they say this is what we want, and they go out and get that name. Now Real Madrid are not going to do that. I think they have seen that the public image of them, it really doesn't work. Like what happened with Mbappe was a similar thing, that they said we wanted Mbappe and it turned flat out on their face and it didn't help them in their image. So that is what Real Madrid are trying to avoid. They don't want to give out names, and imagine if they fail again, it's going to fall flat on their face. They don't want to do that. So they're working behind the scenes to get a striker. Now, who that name might be, will it be a player who is experienced? Will it be a younger player? We do not know, because Real Madrid are really hurt right now because of that Mbappe. And let's see what Real Madrid do. But keep your eye on Real Madrid going big in the attacking department. They might get someone who we do not know, and it might be a surprise. And my hinges, like your hunches, like, I think it might be Raheem Sterling, because Raheem Sterling is looking for a move, right? And I know that he would love to go back to London, either to Chelsea, either to Arsenal. I think if Real Madrid go for him, he would think, you know what, maybe why not? I do know that Raheem Sterling plays on the left, where Vinicius Jr. plays. But if you would say Raheem Sterling, you know what, you get to play on the right side of Karim Benzema, and how about that? And you can play in Spain. But then Raheem Sterling could say, you know what, maybe I want to go back to London, or because I have my family roots over there. It's just my hunch, you never know. But let's wait and see. Maybe Real Madrid just go for Gnabry of Bayern Munich, and that would be it. I don't know, you just have to wait out and see. Let's see what happens. Now, moving to Barcelona. Barcelona have been reported that they have signed Christensen from Chelsea. They are still in talks to get Alonso. They are still in talks to get Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta have got a 2-year deal from Barcelona on the table. Will they get him? That's to be seen. Whereas Alonso, he's also looking out for a move. So let's see what happens on that one. Whereas Barcelona, they are saying that they need Bernardo Silva. They're willing to offer 70 million euros. That's the maximum they can offer to City. City are looking for 90 million euros, but we'll see if that happens or not. Now, going forward, we are going to speak about Barcelona's deal with Lewandowski. let's see. I think this is going to get stretched. I think Bayern Munich are going to ask for money, and I think Barcelona will end up paying some money to Bayern Munich, and I think Lewandowski will sign for Barcelona. That's for sure, because I'm sure that Barcelona would know that PSG are interested in him. Now, is that coming from the player side or is it coming from PSG? Because PSG wants Skriniar, and Skriniar is getting interest from other clubs as well. It has been reported that Chelsea are interested in Skriniar, so something might happen because Inter Milan need Lukaku. So if Inter Milan go for Lukaku, then Chelsea could say that, you know what, we are interested in Skriniar. So Skriniar is getting plenty of interest from PSG as well as Chelsea. So let's wait out and see what happens with that one. But whereas it has to come to in the likes of what do Chelsea do, it is all depending upon the outgoings. Chelsea will do with the outgoings first, and then they will deal with the incomings. So far they have put Pulisic, Ziyech and Timo Werner on sale. Maybe they want to change lots of personnel. Let's see what happens, and we'll find out that soon. So right now Barcelona, they are looking for incomings. They want to get that Frankie de Jong deal done. Once they're done, then they got some cash, and let's see what will happen with Barcelona. So guys, this is what we have today for the update in the morning newspaper. I'm sure that you guys will be tuning in a little bit later. I did come out at 5 p.m. yesterday GMT, 5 p.m. UK time. What I'm going to do is I won't be coming at 5 p.m. What I'll be trying to do is I'll be coming out a little bit later. It's due to the fact because, you know, at that time the transfer news is still kind of brewing up, and the news which are breaking like a little bit later. So what I'll do is I'll post out the information in the community tab, and I'll let you know at the time when I'll be coming out for that time, because I think 5 p.m. is a little bit earlier. I think the best time I'm deciding on it, because what I found out is between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. of UK time, that is when the transfer news starts to come out, and by 11 p.m. it starts to get mature. So for me, I'm just waiting in that slot if I'm able to get that transfer news. So most probably I will either shift to 7 p.m. or maybe 8 p.m. So I will see if I can do that, and I'll see if I can try to do these 3 slots, and rather than coming out at 5 p.m. I'll see if I can come out and do this at 3 p.m. So I'll see what I can do. But anyway, right now today I won't be coming at 5 p.m. I'll be coming out at most probably at 8 p.m. That's what I'll be trying to do. So hopefully you guys will be tuned in, and I want to thank you very much, especially GSK, for tuning in. Really appreciated that you've joined us today, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys by tonight 8 p.m. at UK. And thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm sure I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and please share this channel with your friends and family, and I'll be really thankful to you. So thank you very much for tuning in, and hope to see you